In our creative world, where everything moves into a digital world, we have a wide spectrum of apps that can solve pretty much all of your needs as a creative. Whether you're a filmmaker, animator, artist or photographer, you probably use a lot of apps that cover some of your needs. You have apps that cover one need and one need only, like video editing or client revisions, and you have apps that try to solve everything from pre-production to post-production. And today we will test Krockio, an app that covers pre-production and post-production processes for animators, directors, cinematographers, and filmmakers like I am. And this app combines features from Milanote or Storyboarder together with Frame.io or Dropbox Replay, together with some cool AI features which we will test as well. With this app you will have one place where you can create storyboards and review them or your final videos with your clients or teammates. And because Krock is sponsor of this video, we'll compare it with all of these apps, so we'll see how it stands against all of them. And why we are comparing these apps is because I just use them, or some of them I used in the past. And Krockio didn't say me anything what to say on camera, but they just asked to make a honest review comparing this app to all of these other apps. So if you go on the website of Krockio, you can see that they say that it's media review and collaboration platform for teams, and they recently came up with integration in Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects. I would love to see that in DaVinci Resolve, because currently Frame.io also have this feature, and Dropbox Replay have very nice integration with DaVinci Resolve. So if you upload your video to Dropbox Replay from DaVinci Resolve and leave comments here, they will appear on the timeline in DaVinci Resolve. On Krockio and Frame.io this will be the case also, but on Premiere Pro and After Effects. Yeah, you can do that on Dropbox Replay too. So all of these three apps will work seamlessly with Premiere Pro and After Effects, and only Dropbox Replay have very good, and I actually use it, very good integration with DaVinci Resolve. So in March, Krockio have come up with a free pricing for the app to try it out. You can have unlimited reviewers, one workspace, 2 projects, 50 AI tokens. We will come to that later, and video review and storyboarding tool that is available for free from the March. If you want to upgrade to unlimited reviews, unlimited projects, 4K playback, custom branding, you can go with $14 a month, or go unlimited for $400. Fixed price, not per user, but for fixed price. I think if you have a lot of team members, that's not a very big price. So one of the features that Krockio stands out from the rest of the programs is ability to have a calendar and actual project management platform built into the app, which Dropbox Replay, Frame.io and all of other programs don't have. So if we, for example, create a project and we go into it, we can add different stages of the pre-production. And for example, I have here on my recent project, I have brief, I have mood board, I have script, I have storyboard, and I have video reviews. You can set statuses of different stage and the due date of every stage. For example, this stage is in progress, and I can change that to needs review, or reviewing, or rejected, or approved, and set the due date, for example, here. So let's use Krockio for pre-production purposes, and let's compare it to Storyboarder and with Milanote, and we'll see how you can use this app for your full potential, what is better for your needs. So if you go here, you can create a stage, for example, storyboard, and you can choose here different stage types. If you create a storyboard, you can create storyboard here and click create step. So you can add frames here and you can drag them, move between each other, and if you're familiar with storyboarding tools, they're very interesting and useful for pre-production. So in production, you know everything what you need to do. And here you can script an AI script and it will come up with a script for you. So you can write 1-2 sentences about the topic and it will come up with a script. You have different languages here, actually a ton of them. Count frames, how many frames in this script should be, and you have tokens to use these AI features here. But if you have script already, you can import it with CSV file and you can actually create a storyboard with AI and it will read your script, generate frames for you. You can have different styles, origami, cinematic, anime, sketch, photorealistic, and you can pick a slot with a text description or write a custom prompt. Actually, on each frame you can add an image of reference, for example, image that you found somewhere. I personally found to be useful using Pinterest for reference images, and you can AI generate or draw. Here in the settings it becomes very interesting. You can hide which nodes you want, which ones you don't, and you can rename them and choose an icon for it. For example, here we have 2 nodes. We can switch that to location and you can reorder them here. Write, for example, script, what people are saying here, which the lighting is, which the action is, which is the location. Don't go here. Location is outside of the city. Action, walking slowly towards camera. And we can go here to draw, for example. We have my tablet here, which I can use for drawing. Here we can change the color. Here change the intensity, transparency, and we can actually start drawing. You can go also full screen here, like this. Increase the thickness of it, for example, like this. I don't know why it doesn't go here. It doesn't allow me to draw here. You can either redo, undo, or can clear all or hit send. I don't know why it became dark, but I would love to be the background white when I was drawing. And here you can add some information, camera movement, lighting, and you can hide that. Go from full screen mode, leave comments on drawings here, and when you leave a comment what to fix, you can actually draw the comments. So here we have also 4 preview modes here. We have grid view, the main one, we have a table view, so you can see from the top to bottom. You have drawing and you have animatic view, so you can actually render a fully rendered video to see the video before it's even shot. You can add subtitles, watermark, you can remove that, or you can replace with your own logo. You can upload the music and you can download it with hard or soft subtitles, and subtitles can be downloaded externally as a RCC or VTT file. And you can download the actual video. So we also can add an image or we can generate here. And for example, in action you can have something like walking woman into the store, and when we click AI generate, you can choose the text description of the action, and it will generate a frame from this prompt that you wrote on the action text, or we can choose different ones, for example. And here we can choose, for example, photorealistic and generate frame, and this requires 1 token. You can remember that we have 50 tokens available for free. So it generated a pretty nice photorealistic frame. Let's have a look closer here. So it's nice. Yeah, I like that. So we have a very nice frame, but for some reason the woman walks on the street where cars are passing. But for the reference image, I think it's not very that bad. So we'll go here for download the PDF. You can choose portrait or landscape, and you can choose which of the board settings will be shown. Great. You can remove location, for example. You can definitely will need a script, action, camera, lighting, something like this. You can choose to be a frame format 1 by 1, but I will not suggest that. You can show the icons, you can show the frame number, you can show the watermark, and click download. So now we can see the final downloaded PDF. As you can see, it came up with a pretty good and useful storyboard, which you can print and use on your location scouting and on your location already shooting. So if you go on Storyboarder, you can create a new storyboard or open the new one. This is the app that is downloaded on your computer. It's not on your web, which is the Pro, I think, because you can use it anywhere and you don't need an internet for it. You can select the script and it will come up with the frames based on the script, or you can create a blank storyboard. You can choose the aspect ratio, which is also pretty handy. For example, vertical HD, it will be very useful because a lot of commercials are already shot with vertical format. There's 2 things that I really like Storyboard better than Frame.io. It's integration with Photoshop. You can continue editing the frames in Photoshop if you use that, and the shot generator. I very love shot generator. I am not a professional drawing artist at all. You can add your character, you can move it here, you can move the camera, more cameras, you can add objects. For example, if you add this object here, you can choose, change it to something like sofa, move it that way, here, rotate. For me, as a filmmaker, I'm not a drawing expert. I don't want to draw a person and a sofa or a tree. I can actually change that to chair, door, or railing unit, stairs, a car. That's very useful here. You can choose a pose for person. It can be a baby, it can also be female or male, and you can change the poses, and you have a lot of options here. Bike ride, yeah, something like this. It's pretty good for what we need. And let's move this guy here like this. We can actually use arrows here to move camera. We can choose a shot size, camera angle, or open shot explorer, and it will read the scene and give you some options of the shots that you can just click here, insert camera. You can use this one, insert camera, and then you can click on this camera, insert as new board, or save to existing board. And we have PNG files, which we can customize a lot here, or we can continue editing in Photoshop. Here is a lot easier to draw with the mouse, but with the pen it will be a lot easier here. So the size we can adjust here, the transparency, and we can actually start painting. This is too much. I love this one because it doesn't add as much as this one. We can give it a slight color here. For me, I found that's enough. Here we can have some color for the skin. Let's use a pen, for example. What I found is on Krockio you don't have the more power when you put your pen harder. You don't have a lot of more intensity of the or wider pen size, but here it actually works as in Photoshop, which I think is very cool feature to have. Draw very quick. For example, we don't need so much intensity. We can use this one. We can maybe add some color for the clothing, and we can already export that as a frame, which I think it's more nitpicking, but it's something that you will appreciate when you're out shooting. So here you can also write a dialogue, action, or some different notes, and you can also on timeline export this video as finally made animation. It's not an animation, it's like still frames, but you can move and drag the length of each frame, and then you can click here, file, and export animated GIF, export scene to Final Cut Pro X and Premiere, export as images, as video, export to web, or print or export to PDF, which is something that I used previously in my projects for longer. Here we can use the pepper size. I like this generated frame a bit more. We don't have any action here, so we can choose the columns. 3 columns, for example, spacing, copies, print. So let's also compare these apps to Milanote. I have here my current YouTube or client projects, or just some templates or finished or cold projects. So what we will compare Milanote to Krockio is also a storyboarding tool. So if you create a storyboard, you can have a template here, and it's very nice template that you can use for explaining for yourself and for your team members and clients the vision of the storyboard or frames. But we can add that ourselves. Let's add column. Let's name that intro, and we can actually add an image. I very like when you have Unsplash or Pexels that come integrated into apps. I didn't know actually that Pexels is integrated here. So I can, for example, city drone shot. Let's search for that, and it's remembered, and you can see which frames do you like and just upload them here. It has a caption you can hide, and let's add some notes. Type action and what's happening in scene. Drone shot from above of the city, and you can put different text styles, make it normal heading or large heading, like this, to differentiate them. You can copy paste that. It adds here as unsorted. You can change that dialogue or script. Also, you can draw here. Let's add another frame here. You can add arrows pointing to the next shot, for example. You can draw on top of the image, which is very nice. Let's choose the color. There's a lot more of saved colors, but you can also use custom color here, and you can change the intensity between 4 presets, and you can, for example, add an hour here. Let's make it smaller. You can draw, you can, for example, say zoom in here. I would love to add a comment here, like just in frame, but you can add comments under here or move them around wherever you prefer. I would love to, yeah, something like this, and it will be on the every person who uses board shared with your clients and with your team members. You can upload images from Shot Deck or Pinterest, for example, and you can draw here, or you can sketch a shot. It's not very different from Krockio. It's 3 thicknesses of the pen, color, and that's it. That's not a lot, which I think Krockio has more customizability. I don't see the transparency of it, which is not something that I like. I would love to have more customizability here. Because of this app is downloaded to a laptop, I believe it works faster than apps that are on the web. And you can click save and use that shot for your reference. There's a lot of customizability here, but I like the option to upload images from pexels.com, which is free app which you can use for all of your projects and your work. Let's try and export features also, as we're here. You can export PDF, high quality or standard, just PNG images, Word document, Markdown, plain text, or generate zip file of all the images and files. Let's try PDF standard exporting and let's see what it will came up with. As you can see, it highlighted my point here, which I don't believe I actually did. Let's add more frames here and let's see what it does. So it's exported as not on A4 or some standard paper size, which is not very good. Let's see what it does if we click to print. Let's choose A4, and as we can see, it crops not very nice. If we move that under here, I don't like that the arrow is going all over this shot here. Let's try to print it. Yeah, it crops, so that's not very interesting. So Krockio and Storyboarder have better tools for exporting it, and it's very important when you want to use these shots and storyboard for shooting. So let's finally compare this app to Frame.io and Dropbox Replay. When you add a stage of post-production, you can choose the file storage. You can store all the files here. If you add something here, you can upload image, or you can upload videos and PDF files, anything that you want. It looks pretty similar to Frame.io. I love this preview feature on Frame.io actually. You can also set statuses here, but they do not add automatically, which I think for more professional people, the necessity of them changing is very useful. And when you create a share link, you can actually add a password, allow downloads, comments and everything as Frame.io and Dropbox Replay do. If you create a share link, you also can make a password, allow downloads, allow comments and everything else. On Dropbox Replay it also looks pretty similar. What I like on Dropbox Replay is that you can start a live review. When you start a live review, every person with the link should click on this button and then you enter the live view, and it's like a call to leave comments, to watch together with someone and to discuss live on the actual video which you edited, and give the editor some more feedback which you can't add on the comments, which is very nice touch. You can also draw. You, for example, draw here and you add some comments here, post them, and it's shown your comment with the drawn shot here, which is the case also on other apps. Comment here, for example, place that here or here. I don't like this building, for example. You write a comment, you add files, upload. You also can mention team members. You can also hide from reviewers. So here you can also draw a comment. For example, if I want to move this text here, I'll draw here, and you can pretty much draw on any part of the canvas here, or undo this, change the color to this one, and maybe ask for a zoom more to this, and write, for example, remove this text and zoom in more to this building. So you can erase some part of the drawings. The move tool, you can move the drawing that you've made, resize it, which is pretty cool. And yeah, you can also add text here, place a circle, rectangle of any color or arrow to get specific comments you want to make. And then you click send and your comment will appear here. Also, when you leave in the comment, you can resize for example, from which second to which, for example, to cut, and you send it here and you can see the segment from which second to which. This is also the case in Frame.io. In Frame.io you can also draw here, which is very nice. Some presets here, you have some rectangles, lines, arrows, and leave a comment, make it public. After you've done that, you can click mark as complete to see for yourself when you're editing that you have finished this task, which you can do also on Krock.io, which I really love that feature, because when you have a lot of comments it becomes very busy, which you can actually do here on Dropbox Replay, but they are hiding as resolved, and in all you can see which ones you did, which ones you didn't. So I think that's a very nice touch. You can hide here completed ones, which is very also nice feature, and you can filter comments based on what you like. Here on Krock you can also hide comments from team, your personal ones, or resolved, which I think is very nice touch. I really like that. If you left your comments, for example, you can hide them and see only your client's comments, for example. And if you want to see only your team member comments and yours, you can hide your reviewers' comments. Yeah, it's very similar, but you get the point. I think all of these apps nailed this feature here pretty great. You can also add audio source to listen while you're watching this video. Also, you can add subtitles, make a screenshot of the frame, go full mode, and you have here some shortcuts as well. So that's basically the rundown of the comments section and review of files that you upload to your review videos for clients. And here is pretty straightforward, very similar, but have some useful features for some people. Someone will like Frame.io, someone will like Krock, someone will like Dropbox Replay. I think the most standing out feature is start a live review in Dropbox Replay, and on Krockio the ability to hide your comments and see only the client comments is very simple, fast, just by 2 clicks. It's very interesting touch here. So let's finish it up a little bit. What's important for me in apps which I use for my work is it bringing me faster workflow? Is it easy to use, which means it needs to have easy user experience, fast loading speed, also important for me, which I don't like to work with slow loading app. I will straight go to another one. Very important for me is actually useful tools for my specific job. Not every filmmaker is the same, and I like Notion for customizability, that you can arrange things. I also found that very useful in Milanote. And with Krockio, what I liked is fast animations and load speed. Also, I like reviewing options for leaving comments. It's very good comparing to Frame.io and Dropbox Replay. It's pretty much the same for all of these free apps. Also, I like the idea of all-in-one app, which is perfectly accomplished in my opinion. A couple more features in this app will go a long way, I think, but for what it is right now, the workflow and project management of pre-production and post-production, I think it's nailed very good. What I really liked about Krockio is the fact that it implemented AI into pre-production workflow very good. The ability to generate images from text with good options of the tools, of the drawings, of cinematic or photorealistic templates is very interesting for me, and I found that photorealistic AI-generated images are very nice for me visually. So I believe Krock very nailed this part of the pre-production. Also, I like the planning and due dates and calendar feature for project management. None of other apps have that. I think because we have one app for project management, one app for reviewing footage, videos, final edits, and another app for pre-production. And I think actually some production companies will benefit from this app to streamline their workflow, to use one app for everything. The simplicity of this app and all of these features together create a very unique app that solved a lot of problems for production companies. Some feature requests: I would love this app to have integrated mobile app for Android and iPhone. Actually, my clients review some of my videos from their phones. They just download the app. When I share the link with them and they click it, it opens the video in the app itself, which I believe is a very nice feature to have. So I would love also to have full screen view for drawing. I think that's a very nice feature to have if you are planning to build an app where you can actually draw a very good customizable drawings for your reference images. I think having a full screen mode where all of the frames in the corners on the side of the frames, everything is customizable and you can draw there. That will be very useful to have a full screen option. Also, would love to have some more drawing options for storyboards, which I think is something that needs to have a lot of tweaking. For Krock, I didn't have a lot of joy drawing on this app. It's very fast loading, which is a good thing for starting out, but I think if you want to compete with some of the top of the industry products, you need to integrate more of the features there. For example, different pen options or some presets of the characters. So who is this app for? The export settings for printing the actual storyboard is very nice, which Milanote doesn't have. I think they are competing very good with Storyboard app. I think cinematographers, script writers, movie writers, directors will benefit for shooting commercials, films and animations of some 3D or 2D movies. So that's the video for today. Thanks guys for watching it, and if you haven't seen the longer commercial that we shot recently, the breakdown is here. Please watch it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.